Hey Richie, let's take a look at your week 2 assignment 3 drawing. Layout and just placement of your elements is working out much better than the last assignment. Everything feels like it's kind of situating itself better, and the shapes being spread out more kind of create a more open feeling, which I think is probably a good thing within this assignment, being as it's so kind of geometric. Having it feel like it's not claustrophobic as well is probably a good thing. I say all your textures look very good. Your stone texture is nice and convincing, and there's a lot of variation in place, which is great. The wood texture works pretty good overall, and the metallic textures on the sphere and the cone are also working out good. I think some of the textures could be developed a little bit more. The wood texture is one of the ones where I think it felt a little overworked here, but we didn't have kind of color in place. I think here it's coming along well, but I think a little bit more color introduction could be used. Think about maybe trying to introduce a few yellows, oranges, or even some greens into this to just give it a little more variation. I think for me the biggest qualm I would give this drawing is that there really is very little color implementation being used in it, and for this to be the very first kind of large-scale color assignment that we're doing, it feels much too limited for what it is. I think trying to integrate more color into the wood texture just to help kind of create more layering and a little bit more of a richer kind of feeling could help. I think introducing some colors into the stone, some neutrals, just some flecks here and there could help. And I think even working with the background, having a ground plane in place, having a color on the ground plane, having a color in the background, and this is going to help to make the metallic textures work, because you can introduce a little bit of those colors into the metallic texture as well. That would make it seem like it's reflecting off of them. So those are the types of things that I think can really help to make the drawing feel a little bit more full. Right now it feels very stark, and it feels very, very monochromatic. You just have this brown and then everything else is a gray. And for a color assignment, for a full out color assignment, that's really just not enough. I think the drawing also just feels very empty because it doesn't have a ground plane. It has the cast shadows, which are very stark, but that's about it. So I think giving yourself more elements to work with, giving yourself more space to have to deal with more color and things like that can be very helpful, as well as just making it easier on you as you kind of work through the assignment on where to figure out where to put the color. But I think what's here is very, very good. Shapes feel symmetrical, perspective and proportions feel very good, the shading is great, and the marker application is nice and clean, and we're not seeing as much of that bleeding as we were seeing in the last time. But it does feel very limited. I think it does need more. It needs more detailing with the background. I think it needs more layering with marker and that sort of stuff. So I think just try and take a few more risks. Try to push yourself a little more. Experiment a little bit more. Don't be afraid to add color to your value drawings that you have in place. And I think don't just be afraid to use color. Just go at it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You can always kind of make some comments in the notes like, I tried it. It didn't quite work for me. This is why. This is what I was thinking. And I'll always take that stuff into consideration when I take a look at it when I do the grades. So I think the next time we see an assignment like this, just try to be a little bit more pushy with the color, and try to work a little more completely. Think about the entirety of the composition, but definitely keep the things that are working. Great drawing, great technique, and just a good solid eye, I think, for proportions, perspective, and shading.